It is tax day here in the United States. What will you do with your tax refund if you get one? Our next guest believes you should put the funds to good use. Joining us is Daniel Geltrude from Geltrude and Company, founder and Positive Financial Karma author. The book, we had you on when the book came out. What should you do? Is it pay down debt? Is it put it into savings?
Well, the first thing to think about is if you're getting a refund, you screwed up because you didn't put the money to work for you. You actually allowed the government to have an interest-free loan. So you have to learn from that and going forward, change your withholdings. With that said, if you are getting a refund, the first thing I tell people to do is take down any high interest rate debt that you have, such as a credit card. To have credit card debt out there, 14 or 18% is crazy. So if you get a lump sum payment refund from the government, the first thing that you should do is try to get rid of that. The second thing is to make sure that you have an emergency fund. Right now, the economy is humming along. That's not going to last forever, and a rainy day will come. I'd like to see people have 6 to 9 months put aside for that emergency situation. The other thing that you can do is put some money away for retirement, such as an IRA. You get to put $6,000 towards your retirement in using the tax benefit of that. If you're 50 and older, you get an additional $1,000. So again, try to make your money work for you.
What do people usually do with their refunds in your experience?
Unfortunately, when they get their refund, at least a portion of that is going to go to having a good time, and if not all of it. And I can't look. If you've taken
What's wrong with that?
If you've taken care of those other things we just talked about, maybe there isn't anything wrong with it. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't put that money to work for them, and that's kind of eating your vegetables. Nobody likes it, but it's good for you.
What do you think the Trump tax cuts were successful?
They were really successful if you were someone who was not itemizing your deductions or if you were in a lower tax state. Then it worked out really well. If you're in a state like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, where you really relied on your itemized deductions, specifically state and local taxes, which is now capped at $10,000, a lot of those people got slammed.
Well, but a lot of those people, too, used to have to were slammed by the AMT, and this time they weren't. So that's not, we won't know the actual results for about 2 years, according to the IRS. But I wanted to do something real quick with you. Everyone always criticized people who give the government that, I'm doing a calculation right now, the government that interest-free loan. If you were to do the average refund, we just showed the graphic, we can pull it back up. We have the latest stats from the IRS. The average refund's about $2,800. If you were to change your withholding for the average person right now, that's putting $53 a week back into your pocket. What's wrong with doing what a lot of people do and then taking that larger lump sum to pay down a debt or to put into the IRA? Because it's easier to lose $53 a week than it might be to get the refund.
Well, I understand what you're saying. There is some logic to the fact if you don't have the financial discipline to put money aside for yourself, then you're going to use the government as a vehicle to save that money for you. That's what it comes down to. I personally do not like to see people give the government any more money than they need to have. They've got plenty. They don't spend it wisely, but they have plenty. I like to see people have the discipline to put their money aside on their own, have their own savings account, not use the government for it.
What's your biggest tip for this year to prepare for next year's tax season?
Well, I really want to see people go through the process this year, see where you fall out, and then adjust your withholding accordingly. Look, the game really is a zero-sum game. Is get to the end of the year and owe nothing and get no refund. In spite of what we just said, Adam, I want to see people save their money on their own and not use the government.
How often does that happen?
In terms of
people owing nothing and getting no refund?
Very rarely, and I'll tell you why. Is because people don't take the time to plan ahead. They just figure, well, whatever happened last year, let's keep it the same way. Same as last year. Sally, as we call it.
All right.
On that note, Daniel Geltrude, Geltrude and Company founder and the author of Positive Financial Karma. Good to have you here.
Thank you.